Three, two, one. Hello and welcome to Irishnftgal YouTube channel. We're here with classic Kev, who I absolutely admire from the NFT space, all about Web3. He was a crypto investor and recently got talking to him because of the CryptoSkulls community. So we're here to talk to Kev all about his own passion for his podcast, his YouTube, why he likes interviewing so many people. I thought I'd turn the table a little bit on you, Kev, because you're so used to asking other people the questions. Now's my time to make sure that we get to know more about Kev, because I think a lot of people would be really interested to find out more about you, what you get up to on a day-to-day, and yeah, what enticed you to actually join NFTs in the first place. So yeah, if you would like to tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Well, Irish, appreciate you having me on. And it is kind of weird being on this side because I am usually the one doing the interviewing, but this should be fun. But, you know, for anybody watching, you know, I'm just like all of y'all watching. I'm nothing special. I was a C student all through college and high school. You definitely wouldn't have copied off of me, you know, in school. But I've always had a passion for entrepreneurship, and I've always had a passion, you know, for people. I love talking to people. I love making connections. I love being as social as I can. And, you know, what better avenue than not just YouTube, but look at what crypto and NFTs. I mean, Irish, look at me and you know, we're friends now, and you know, you live across the world from me. And now because of, you know, not just CryptoSkulls, but because of NFTs and Web3 communities, look at how we're able to connect and look at what we're able to cultivate from that. I mean, how cool is that?
Do you know what? It wouldn't happen in any other like field, bar your own like job, bar your own if you're working like a 9 to 5. So it's a fantastic thing. I want to know more about what you said there as well, about like even when you were in like school, you said what people wouldn't copy from you. I definitely wasn't one that was getting straight A's or anything of that kind in school. I think when you do bad in one area, it tends to like push you further. I think, like, would you agree in that way? You want to make something of yourself, you want to make sure like you kind of you get heard, you want to tell stories in that way, because I think like the education system like is kind of it's you know it's crap in that way, that you don't get to express yourself, you don't get to like show who you really are. You have to stick to a formal routine, a pattern. Like, would you be the type of person that likes change and that you like, you know, to spice it up every day, like do something different?
Yeah, it's interesting because I do love structure. You know, I think because, you know, my grandfather was military and I think he instilled that into me. So I do love structure, and I do love the structure and the balance that, you know, say like the public school system gives you, you know, show up at a certain time, be respectful, get your work done, you have assignments. All of that is really important. But I think that, you know, some of us are just born for different things. So me, I think I was born to be an entrepreneur. It's been in me. I mean, I used to sell Pokemon cards, you know, in middle school. So like, it's always been in my DNA. So once I got to college, I was always looking for ways, you know, just a broke college kid to make money. And I would always be successful. And I was, you know, still able to, you know, pass school, still able to get a degree. But I was always looking, what is the next thing? What is the next thing? What is the next thing? And then that led me to real estate. That led me, and then, you know, to supplement my real estate investment, you know, you need cash. So you need cash flow. So then it just had me down this road of businesses, building businesses. And then as an investor, you know, I was very successful with stocks, investing in stocks. That then led me to crypto. And then when I look back, all of the information I've gained, you know, from school, from business and technology, big in the technology field, I start realizing how revolutionary Web3 is. How revolutionary, you know, you know, it's funny. Somebody said, you know, the old joke, what's the old joke? Oh, an NFT, I'm a right click save as, you know, and it's like, they have no idea that this technology is revolutionary. This technology is changing the world. So we are at an interesting time, Irish, where we are at the forefront of this technology. We are, you know, you yourself, Irish, you're a creator. So you're a community manager. You're an innovator. You're an innovator. And me, I want to be something like that. I want to be somebody that is at the front end of this technology. Obviously, Irish, we all want to make money. Let's be frank, you know, guys, you know, I'm a capitalist. I want to make money, but I also want to change the world. I also want to do good things for the world. Now, I believe that you can you can ethically secure a life of abundance if you have strong values, if you have a strong belief system, and really if you just work hard. If you're an honest, good person, I think you're going to be successful. So, Irish, what defines me and what separates me from anyone else, it's really nothing. There's no secret sauce. There's really no, and now granted, some people are born to be a doctor. Some people are born to be a teacher. Some people are born to be a chef, So I think that we're all intrinsically born with something. And the way you cultivate that is by trying a lot of different things.
Yeah. And do you feel like, I mean, you definitely sound like you have your head on your shoulders. You know what you want, but you're not afraid to try something new. You
Mhm.
definitely remind me of myself in that way. When you want something, you're very determined to reach that end goal. You won't let anyone like step in your way, but you're nice along the way. You want to make friends along the way, even though you still are very focused. And I love that like conversation as well. I think you would definitely be more disciplined, I'd say, than me, and that's a good thing. And that could be because of your grandfather. Like if he was in, you said in the army, right?
Yep.
Right. So
Mhm. Yep.
that's really like beautiful that that kind of like sticks with you as well in your journey right now. And you don't have any kids, right?
No kids, no kids. It's interesting you bring that up because that is something that, it's weird. Something just clicks. I don't know if this just happens to guys or happens to women. Something has clicked in me recently. I'm like, wow, I'm ready. I never would say that before. I've always wanted a family and kids, but that never clicked for me before. And now I think I am at a point in my life where I'm openly looking for that. I've never internally, like, for you to accomplish something, you really have to internalize it. Like say if you want to get in shape, right? You have to literally tell yourself in your head, like, I want to get in shape and then start taking those steps. But as far as, children and family, yeah, absolutely. I want that. And that's something that's have become really recent for me. And I do think that having, guys, we can talk about NFTs, we can talk about money, we can talk about business, but really, the goal of I think all humans should be to produce offspring, to raise a loving family, to instill your values, to pass along your lineage to the next generation, because that's really what's going to make the world a better place.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad that I asked you about that, because I mean, you see so many people and they obviously have families in the NFT space, and it baffles me like how they're able to multitask. Like there's some of the most successful artists and entrepreneurs out there have a family of like 6 kids or more, and it's just like, and they mightn't have any babysitters or anything, and they're still able to multitask. So I like that you're open-minded as well. Like I think it's really important for anyone that is in Web3 to be open-minded, because if they're not open-minded, like I mean, you have to come to the fact that people change. We all change. Like so what you said there, like it's something that you never thought about having kids before, but now you kind of are just realizing, oh, that now this is something that I want. And I think like that happens like where even with NFTs, like we mightn't have heard about NFTs 10 years ago, even though, let's say it did exist, but just wasn't called NFTs then. We need to kind of realize that technology is going to change as well as humans. Like we are kind of, it's very similar in that mindset. So it's a nice thing. But yeah, let's talk about your consistency as well in terms of you said what differentiates you from like other people. I think consistency is so important. Like you were able to talk to me about BitBoy Crypto. You were able to talk to me about that you looked up to his podcast and stuff, like they do podcasts daily. Is this something that you would like strive for as well? Is it something that like, does it show you that kind of hard work and like determination,
Oh, speaking of BitBoy, yeah, seeing him hit his rise, obviously, that's a testament to the message that they're delivering, but also the hard work cannot be ignored. And, I'm not somebody that subscribes to the ideology of luck. Don't get me wrong. There is a luck element to a lot of life, but when you're consistent and you show up and you're authentic and real, that which is it, fortune favors the brave, that luck, you're going to kind of make your own luck. So with me, what I'm doing and on my channel and the type, I love that the idea is that I can bring different type of guests on. I can bring political guests. I can bring business leaders, thought leaders, culture leaders, and have these conversations that frankly in the society we're not having, we haven't had before. So the ability for me to just show up and create content, it's because it's what I love doing. It's what, I'm cultivating what I love. I don't look at it as work, Irish. I don't look at, sitting here with you as work. This is fun. This is fun. And when you enjoy, like, I hope that's one thing I can hope for your audience is that you find that thing that you do that makes you click, that when you wake up, you could wake up in the morning without an alarm clock. You can go and the day just flies by, an 8-hour day flies by. And for a lot of people, they never find that. And, for some people, there's no age, there's no time it's going to happen. So if you're somebody listening to this and that hasn't happened for you yet, keep trying new stuff, keep talking to people, try working out, try changing your diet. Like sometimes drastic change is what cultivates a new life. Like Irish, I quit drinking 2 years ago. I can tell you, and no offense. I know, no offense to anybody that drinks, all my friends still drink, but that was a decision for me. And in the last 2 years that I've quit Irish, I've just seen like a life of abundance. And it's like, almost like I'm manifesting this, and it's incredible. It's really incredible.
I love that you mentioned that, because I was dedicated to doing dry January this year because I drank so much around Christmas. And it was, I have been actually kind of realizing, do you know what, life is better without alcohol. It really is. Now I love socializing, I love networking, and I definitely will still drink at like social events and stuff like that, like weddings and parties. But like, having the odd glass here and there, it definitely does psychologically impact you, because you tend to get more, I think, more lazy. You want to sit in front of the telly. I'm not a person that watches TV at all. I never really liked watching movies or anything. And I think that's where, if your mind is over what's the word?
Stimulate.
Yeah, you need to either create, or you need to put that focus on something else, whether that's, yes, talking or like creating. I think that's a part of a lot of people that enter the Web3 space. Like, would you say you're that type of person that's constantly thinking? Like, do you find it hard to sleep at night?
That's exactly it. You hit the nail on the head. And, just like with you, I'm sure in Ireland and same in New Orleans, that drinking is kind of part of our culture, part of our culture. It's a network and it's, social thing, where I'm sure you deal with this, where you go somewhere and you see some friends and it's just like a cultural thing to, hey, Irish, let me buy you a shot. Let me have a drink with me, sit down, have a drink with me. And you sometimes feel like bad telling somebody no. But because again, it's a gesture of appreciation. It's a gesture of, just having fun. But yeah, I'm somebody that, and since I've quit, my energy levels have been through the roof. And it's awesome. It really is awesome because like you said, whenever I feel like, like that creative energy, I got to focus it somewhere. And when you start focusing that creative energy somewhere, that's when you start seeing results. And really, you'll surprise yourself. You'll surprise yourself with how creative you can be. You surprise yourself how funny you can be, how entertaining you can be, how good of a conversation you could have. There's so much stuff. And, the brain needs to be firing on all cylinders. Like Irish, I don't know about you, but I'm a lightweight. So when I would drink, the hangovers would be like, if I drink on Saturday, my hangover would last to at least Monday at lunch.
Whoa.
So it's going to be hard to build businesses. It's going to be hard to create content if you're hungover. So again, guys, this isn't, I don't want to attack, alcohol or drinking, because I think, everybody's bodies responds to stuff differently. I got friends, they can drink a whole 6-pack and barely have a buzz. Irish, I drink 2 beers and I'm donezo, so.
You really are a lightweight. You wouldn't last well in Ireland, let me tell you.
I believe it.
I could definitely drink more than you anyway.
I believe it.
Yeah, no, a lot of my family say I don't know what side of the family you get it from, because both sides die with a hangover. The older you get, the worse the hangover. So now I'm already like kind of at that point where I just don't want to have a 2-day hangover like ever. But yeah, no, I love like what you mentioned as well earlier about like I want to know why you even entered crypto, like what made you
Mm.
kind of start. Was there kind of just some video that you saw or something on social media? Was there any sort of like an influencer, or like, yeah, maybe it was from YouTube, because obviously you're, you know, fanatic with content creation and creators and listening to them as well. So yeah, why did you, yeah, why did you kind of want to belong to this like investor? Because I think we're all investors, you know, at the end of the day. So yeah, why did you want to kind of start crypto?
So I'm gonna blow your mind, Irish. I'm gonna blow your mind. I don't even think I've even talked about this on my channel so much, but I'll blow your mind. So realize that years ago I started a business. I started an ATM company. You know, like the ATM machines. I don't know. Do y'all have those in Ireland? Like ATM machines, you get cash and take out. Okay, yeah. Some countries don't have them, believe it or not. Some countries,
Really?
yeah, you got to go to the bank. But
Oh,
so I started, there's a lot of bars. There's a lot of bars in New Orleans. And so I did a lot of business with bars. And I started an ATM company. We put ATMs. I was filling the ATMs myself, my own money. And eventually I grew that large enough where I had people working for me. Those people were filling it with their money, giving them a percentage of what it makes. So through this process, I learned a lot about how the banking system works, how ACH deposits work. And like, you know, essentially, Irish, if you go use an ATM right now, you put your debit card in, I have a high level understanding of how that money goes from your bank account out that machine into your hands, that cash. And what I realized is how antiquated this technology was, how prehistoric this technology is. Like, I'm like, this is how it's done. Like, I would think it would be a little bit more sophisticated, but it's not. There's a lot of problems with, you know, not just the fractional reserve banking system, but just the way, you know, your traditional banks and ACH deposits work. So with crypto, once I, you know, start deep diving into crypto, I'm like, wow, this solves all of that. And I would definitely point to YouTube, you know, being a great avenue for education, for self-education. And, you know, again, shout out to my boys at BitBoy Crypto, because they really have been on the forefront of, you know, educating people into this. We're going into a new system, and it's a digital system. And a lot of people, you know, some people want the old system of cash. Cash is going away. It's unfortunate. You know, guys, I was in the ATM business. I can tell you right now, they're making it harder to get cash, and they want to get rid of cash. They want to go all digital. So once I figured that out, then it was like, wow, I gotta, this makes too much sense. This makes too much sense. Then, you know, I'll start, you know, researching Bitcoin and the benefits of, you know, a deflationary asset. And I was like, wow, I've invested in stocks. I invest in real estate. And this is an asset, Bitcoin. Again, guys, this is not financial advice, guys. If you're listening to me, you know, I'm not telling you to go buy Bitcoin. I'm just telling you my story. But once I realized how important this asset is, and how important, and Irish, think about Bitcoin from its inception. We've been seeing the same attacks on it, the same, you know, FUD, as they would call it, on Bitcoin. And look, it's still here. And you know what, Irish, when Bitcoin is $200,000, $300,000 per coin, you're going to be hearing the same people with the same talking points. So it's a revolutionary asset, you know, and like, I can't even imagine that we're at this point in time when we can not only invest in it, but we can cultivate content on it. Because Irish, there's really nobody. I mean, there's a lot of content creators, but in the grand scheme of the world, what do you think the percentage of people that even own Bitcoin? What do you think the percentage of people that even own NFTs? It's so limited. Like, it is, I guess, Irish, you know what's crazy? It's weird to be this early. It's weird to be this early to the party, because if you're watching this, I've been late to investments before. I've been late, missed out on that. And it's like, wow, for once, we're early. I mean, Irish, you're in CryptoSkulls. You're early. So if you're in CryptoSkulls, by default, Irish, you are in Ethereum. You are so very early, Irish, and you'll look back, and you'll almost, if you ever have any doubt in your head, you're going to laugh at yourself, because you're like, why didn't I buy more of it? Why didn't I double down? How did I not know? So it's just incredible. It's an incredible time. You know, we are in this transition period in the world, And you know, I mean, what was money was, it used to be shells, right? The shekels, shekels, I believe they called it. Then we transferred to the gold system, right? Then we transferred from the gold system to the fiat system. This is the next evolution of money, and we are at the forefront. So it's incredible.
Wow. That was amazing. Like I always say, the only regret I have in life is listening to other people, because the biggest losses and usually of crypto, when I like, because most people their transition would be to start with crypto first and
Mhm,
then maybe hear about NFTs later. Maybe nowadays different, maybe people go straight in invest in crypto because of NFTs. But
mhm,
when I started, it was definitely like crypto first and then what's what's this called, so then you go into it that way. But yeah, it's a like by listening to other people, is this a good idea, is this not, if they haven't heard of it, then you're kind of afraid to start investing. But it's always like, it's a risk no matter what. It is a chance that you take. I think you have to take a chance in life to be successful. So crypto is a great kind of starting journey for a lot of business owners, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of like future successes, because you learn the kind of the ropes of life skills, I think.
mhm,
And it's not something that school teaches you. It's not that, I mean, many people around you can teach you, because a lot of parents like wouldn't have even, gone to university. They wouldn't have had the opportunity to kind of take these risks that the younger generation can afford to nowadays. The regular kind of system isn't now like to get married, to get, to have kids straight away or anything. Now it's like all about your career. I think that we're kind of changing the way that the world works, and I think that's why we're so open-minded now to like new technologies, whatever makes our lives easier, really.
mhm.
So yeah, I love what you said. We're entering a new system, it's a digital system. I completely agree with that. We see now it's the new renaissance. But when a lot of people even hear, let's say we go and talk about NFTs now, a lot of people, when they first hear about NFTs, they only think it's for artists. So yeah, if you want to talk to me about like what made you enter the NFT space, because yeah, a lot of people believe that if you don't create art, then it's not for you.
Mhm. Yeah, so the NFT space, yes, and that is, I guess, the stigma around it, that, oh, this is just for artists, or this is just for, creative people. I don't even know at this point, because I hear so much different stuff. But if you're somebody watching this and you're not a part of an NFT community, you'd be surprised. I've made some real life friends from these communities. I'm in an NFT project in New Orleans where they literally bought a building on St. Charles Avenue that is like our home base, where we have, events and parties. And it's, without this NFT, I would never have access to that. We went to Art Basel in Miami. There was CryptoSkulls people there, Dennis, and a bunch of other CryptoSkulls people were all there. So like, it's given me access. And it's like, a lot of these people are like-minded. It's people that, that's the forefront of what's really happening. We're building communities, and that's what's bringing us together. The technology is bringing like-minded people together. So, whether it's a charity you want to be a part of, or it's just a special interest, whatever it is, I promise there's an NFT for it, and there's a community that would love to have you, because everybody brings something different to the table. And that's what's beautiful about it. When you watch these projects grow, and you watch the communities grow, and then you're meeting the interesting people, and it's like we're all bringing something different to the table, and it's just fun. It's just fun. It just makes sense. And if you think about it, since the start of time, it's been about community. Community has been at the forefront, building strong communities, whether it's in your neighborhood, whether it's your family, whether it's your friend group. You want to build a strong community, of like-minded people. That's what NFTs represent. So
Yeah, and what you can bring, I think that what you are bringing, should I say, to a lot of the communities nowadays is like your gift of like of even speaking. Like a lot of people find it really difficult to be outspoken, or even, speak on a panel in front of like let's say 100 people, or they go to like an NFT event. It's like your presentation skills says a lot about you, and I think a lot of people are afraid to expose themselves in that way. Do you think like the future of NFTs, do you think a lot of people like right now we have kind of, I would say like it maybe 20 to 30% representation of anonymous people. They do it for their own security. They don't want to, as we say, dox themselves.
Mhm.
They don't want to know no one wants to know their locations, you know, they don't want to know their name. Do you think the future is going to be more of like you and me with wanting to show our face, wanting to tell our story, like wanting to, you know, have a legacy really? Or do you think the future is going to be that anonymous? Because I think it would be a pity to, you know, have like, let's say if it became to that extent where it was like 90% anonymous, do you think like NFTs would become as big as it potentially could be if everyone was showing their face?
Well, that's a good question, Irish. I firmly believe the future is decentralized. I think that, I actually like that there's this element that you can choose to be anonymous. You can be a part of these communities and not dox yourself, have an alias. If people do that for different reasons, maybe they have families, maybe they have a job, or they don't want, too much known about them out there. Or, but I think what the future is gonna look like. I don't know if you've seen the movie Ready Player One, where you enter this metaverse, and it's basically like a new metaverse, and you enter this metaverse and there you can be anything you want. And I think that's kind of where it's going. But again, if you like, for me personally, I'm not going to really invest or get too attached to a project where, people aren't like me and you, where we are doxxed, where we do have this relationship. But I understand, there's people's reasons for it. So I think that over time, you will see more people dox themselves and get away from the anonymous ventures. But that's going to take time, and that's going to be as the space is more legitimized and normalized. I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, 100%. I know a lot of people that have no problem like opening up and showing their face after they get to know the person. Like, let's
Mhm.
say you exchange conversation for a couple of months and you help each other out, and then they have no problem showing their face. I think that's what we will see. Like, everyone knows someone. It's very difficult to keep all of your like secrets inside, I think, for someone that it becomes so big. Like, we have Punk 6529, we have 33, who has like his own massive like gallery and like featured on a lot of. Where do you see like yourself going in the crypto NFT space? Would you like to still remain like at the forefront of like the crypto investing stage? Do you always have like, do you think you'll always have a passion for that? Or do you think like the NFT space is going to kind of, you know, adjust and change, and then you might like follow that pattern?
Good question, Irish. So, and I firmly believe, y'all, that like, sometimes when you climb a mountain, you get to the top of it, and then it's just kind of like, all right, what next? For now, my passion is firmly in crypto and NFTs. Now, could that change? Absolutely, guys. And, if you ever feel, what you're doing and you don't feel that passion anymore, then that's kind of the universe's way of telling you, hey, you've grown past this, you've grown past this. But for now, again, it's not just, what I think Bitcoin, NFTs, and crypto represent. It's that, what they represent is, not just financial freedom, but literal freedom, the freedom from tyrannical governments, freedom, property rights, this new form of ownership of an asset that we can truly own. So for now, I feel like I'm firmly rooted in this space. And again, it's more obviously, guys, we all want to make some money, right? We want to make some money, but it's more about the community. It's more about the freedom, and it's more about these lasting relationships that we're creating and cultivating. And, this, what we're able to build. And Irish, look at CryptoSkulls, me and you are both a part of that project. Imagine where that project's going to be, in a couple of years. Next bull run, we'll look back on videos like this and laugh. You know what I'm saying? Because of how far we've come. So I'm super excited. I'm super excited about, again, being at the infancy of this space.
Yeah, and it sounds like you know that this is right for you as well. Like, you said you're rooted in the grounds already. Like, you now just have to see like where it goes and just keep working consistently. And I think like when you start in the Web3 space and you know that it's a good thing, I feel like a lot of people do believe that this is where they belong. They just find kind of like a group of people, they find like their tribe very easy. They could find it in the first like couple of months within joining the NFT space, and I love that because a lot of people, most people change jobs in their real life very quickly, and they can find like their kind of, their network. They can find like who their best friends are, or who has the same like commonalities, the same similarities as you. Whereas I feel like everyone in the NFT space is like a family straight away already. It's because it's such a niche right now, and I feel like people are just so open-minded and they want to get to know each other. Have you been to many like NFT crypto events? Have you done a lot of like networking in person? Because I'm sure where you are living is like a lot bigger in crypto and NFTs than it is for me.
So I have gone to a lot of events, and every time I go to one, it's just so refreshing, whether it's seeing the businesses that are building, Irish, I'm sure you're seeing around. I mean, guys, every major corporation, whether they're telling you or not, is building a Web3 or blockchain based NFT. They're doing something, whether they're openly talking about it, which a lot are. We're seeing the BMW, the Starbucks, but most of them are planning what they want to do and what their strategy is going to be as this technology is more adopted. But yeah, as far as where I live locally, it's a small city where I live, but it is a really good scene. And a lot of creatives and artists are in the New Orleans area, some of the most creative people in the world, actually. And they're quickly adopting this technology. And again, I'm part of a project that's actually cultivating that. That's actually, we have a building on St. Charles Avenue. If you look it up, one of the nicest streets in New Orleans, and we host, big events for NFT and artist investors to come in. And again, it's bringing the culture of New Orleans and putting it on a blockchain. So it's just an incredible time. It's an incredible time to be alive. And again, if you're somebody watching this, I'm not telling you to go buy anything, but take a day and do some research, because when once it clicks for you, like Irish, I'm sure all of this clicked for you at one point. You were like, wow, this makes too much sense.
Yeah. And who was the person whose idea was this about the physical like build and trying to connect that with an NFT? Because it's like it is genius. I think when I first started NFTs, I did quickly say to myself, like, this is a way, could be proof of a receipt to buy a house in the future. Like, I could see why it is a thing and why it's not just art right now. Already, it's not just art that people are, seeing the benefits of it. So that's really interesting. Yeah, talk to me a bit more about that.
Mhm. Well, I want your audience to think about this is if you think about what art really is, if you think about it, art is a universal language, right? So Irish, if you paint something or you create a piece of art, even if we didn't speak the same language, I could get that appreciation for the art, right? So the art is actually just the packaging, and it's what's behind the art, the blockchain, the Web3 technology. So that's what people need are not focusing on. They're focused too much on the art. Now, Irish, you know what this has done for me? I wouldn't have considered myself an art person. I didn't have a lot of artwork in my house. I wasn't an artist per se. I wasn't a collector of any sort. I didn't go to art galleries. Crypto NFTs has opened my eyes where I go to these art events, these art galleries, and I'm just blown away by the talent, by the people, by the expression, the way they can express themselves. And it's incredible. It's like the most refreshing thing. So again, this is something that everybody's going to find something that makes it click for them, and when they find it, there's no going back. There's nobody that gets into crypto and NFTs and actually knows about it, and then it's like, oh, I'm not into this anymore. That never happens. They get in and they're in for life. They're hooked.
Hooked and an obsession is literally like how I can explain myself. I remember when I first joined even NFTs, I was working 9 to 5, and all I was doing every day was like I was spending way more time researching NFTs than I was in my regular job. And I said, if I don't get sacked here, like there's something wrong because I'm not doing any work that I should be doing. So I just decided to leave because there was no way I could focus on anything else other than that. I think a lot of people realize that like their friends, family start like hating them secretly because all they're talking about is something that doesn't make sense to them. So it is like we're speaking another language already. It's like when someone learns like JavaScript or whatever, And it just doesn't make sense to the ordinary person that doesn't have maybe a tech background and so on. So it's definitely something that people don't just get passionate about. They get like, yeah, they get addicted to, they get hooked, definitely, like within seconds. Like, and why do you think that is? Do you think it's because we haven't seen anything like this before? Or like what you said there, like you're going to art galleries that you would have never gone to before. I definitely relate to that as well. It would have been very boring for me because it's just looking at a wall of like paint basically, or there's nothing behind it, whereas now I think we're considering how it was actually created more. And it's yeah, it's adjusting our brains. But yeah, why do you think that where people get so fascinated with this? Like, why is like blockchain a thing that is changing our mindsets? Because blockchain was always like, I remember learning about blockchain when I was in college, but it was nothing related to this. It's completely different. So yeah, why are we seeing this kind of huge passion for this one area?
Well, let me be frank. Obviously there's a lot of people in this industry that are strictly here for the money. They're strictly here to buy it for X, dollar, sell it for $2. That is a lot of the space. Don't get me wrong. And I think that that element of the space and the scam element of space does put a bad name on the space. But understand, there's scammers in all industries. There's people, for profit people in all industries. But Irish, what I would say to you is that most people are living lives of quiet desperation. And again, guys, if you're somebody working a 9 to 5 job like Irish explained she was, that's an honorable thing to do. But if you feel that emptiness, just know that like you're on that journey and you're supposed to be there. So when you start rephrasing your brain, like, oh, hey, this, I don't know why I need this job. I don't know what lessons I'm being taught. You're going to find out years later. So I think once people discover this space, they're like, wait, not only can I connect with like-minded people, make friends literally all around the world, I can also potentially make money, right? Make money. Then I have access. NFTs give you access. CryptoSkulls it was a small event at Art Basel, but because of, I was a skull holder, I was granted access to the little VIP area. So it's given people access and communities. Again, we're tribal in nature. We've always been part of communities, tribes, whatever you want to call it, clans. We want to be a part of something. And when you find something that aligns with your values, you're going to have a passion for it. So yeah, so Irish, you're talking about a lot. Your friends don't get it, but you know what? One day they will. One day they will. I mean, think about it, guys. At one point in time, everybody didn't have a Facebook, or everybody didn't have a MySpace, or or Snapchat. And then just one day it was just normalized, or even dating on apps, and then it got normalized. And now it's like, if somebody tells you they're going on an app, a date from an app, you're not like weirded out by that because it's been normalized. So that's kind of what the phase and, NFTs are. But we do need to be aware that a lot of people are just coming in to make the quick buck. And that's fine. That's what's cool about it. That's fine. Hey, it's your property. If you want to sell it, and it's like, because think about it, in a community, you want the flippers out of there. You want the flippers to come in, make their money and leave, because you want the community to be cultivated of people that want to be there for the right reasons.
Yeah, wow. And I completely agree with you when you said like a lot of people, I suppose, look down on a new thing because they don't understand it. And it's usually just because of lack of education. And that's why I want to become like an educator in the space for that reason. Because I think once people trust it, and I don't think anyone 100% trusts the area that we're in, because as you said, scams and risks and everything. But what doesn't come with risks in the real life? Like, we all, like, none of us know like how long we're going to be here. And like, it literally, like, it wouldn't make sense to take that kind of approach to life. Like, you shouldn't be afraid to try new things and be open-minded. And I think it depends on, yeah, it depends on your culture. It depends like how you're, I suppose, brought up, and like who you surround yourself with. The government and the media, I think, are the worst reasons as why people are so judgmental. For me, I just don't listen to the news whatsoever. I feel like that brainwashes you 1,000 times worse than
Oh, yeah.
anyone in NFTs could brainwash you. And like, yeah, I know people get hooked in NFTs, but I feel like by listening to people that have a certain power is a bad thing. I feel like that's why I love NFTs. Everyone is on the same track. We all kind of like started, no matter like when, it doesn't even matter when you start the NFTs. We're all like help, like a lot of people love to help each other. So that's what I really believe in, and I love that you mentioned decentralization, because I think that's something that we need to kind of re-educate even ourselves a little bit more on, in terms of like making sure what we do with this technology isn't going to be the exact same as what we do in the real life. We want to make it better. We want to make it more fair, more equal to like anyone. And financial freedom is a huge thing that, like, just if you were brought up on in a poor area, it shouldn't determine like your future. I always say like you should be able to be in control of your future. If you're a hardworking person, I think you deserve success. And I think with the NFT space, the Web3 space, even as a whole, you get that back because you've worked hard. People see that. And I love that people do notice you know, people that just start out, they don't care who you are, they just see what you're doing, you're impacting the world. So yeah, it's something obviously that you can tell like so many of us are hooked on, so passionate because of what we're getting back in return. It's such a good high standard, you know, it's a good quality of network that we're getting back. And I'm so happy to have met you as well from CryptoSkulls. And it just goes to show you, each new community you're going to get, you know what, by fivefold back. You're going to meet so many people that are able to help you along your journey. You're going to learn so much from each other. So yeah, there's definitely more that we can like I can learn from you, even with crypto investing and so on. So yeah, do you have anything left to leave the viewers on? Do you have any inspirational quotes or anything?
You know, I will leave you with some Irishnftgal quote. A lot of, you know, my ideology is rooted in stoicism. And one of the key pillars of stoicism is we suffer more in imagination than reality. And there's so much that's in our control, and what affects what's in our control is what we do each and every day. We can't change the past. We can only work on ourselves today and tomorrow and every day going forward. And as you cultivate new relationships, as you remove anger, as you remove resentment, bitterness, jealousy, as these like you said, media programming, government programming into our psyche, as you remove that divisiveness, and then as you start to manifest new people in your life. You start to remove old people. And if you remove somebody from your life, that doesn't mean they're a bad person. It's just your past go different ways. And, you know, you always remember the good times, that person. But I think as people, we are growing. As a society, we are growing, and this is the next evolution. The future is decentralized. It's a beautiful thing.